Let's look at significant figures and how we round to significant figures. So a significant figure is any digit within a number that has meaningful value. The convention we use is the following. Let's look at some examples of this. If we have the number 2.5, then the first significant figure is the 2, since we count significant figures from the left. The second significant figure is the 5, and now there are no other significant figures after this. If we have the number 2.05, let's look at what the significant figures are for this number then. The 2 is the first significant figure, since we count significant figures from the left. Then remember, all zeros between two non-zero digits are significant. So you've got the 2 here and the 5 here that are non-zero digits, and you've got 0 in between. So that 0 is significant. Therefore, the second significant figure is the 0. The third significant figure is the 5. We had 0.231, then the first significant figure, remember, is the first non-zero digit from the left. The first digit here is a 0, so it's not significant. A significant figure in this number is the 2. The second significant figure is the 3, and the third one is the 1. Looking at some examples of this last bit, trailing zeros are just zeros at the end of a number. So for instance, if we had the number 200, then you've got 2 zeros at the end, and in this number we only have one significant figure. That is the 2. The zeros here on the end are not significant. However, if we had the number 200.0, then in this case we've got 4 significant figures, since our last point says trailing zeros are only significant if the number contains a decimal point. So 200 didn't contain any decimal points, therefore these trailing zeros are not significant, whereas 200.0 does contain a decimal point, and so all of these zeros are now significant. Therefore, the first significant figure in this number is the 2, then the next significant figure is the 0, the third significant figure is the 0 here, the fourth significant figure is the 0 on the end here. Let's look at some examples of how to round numbers to significant figures. So the first example is 23.03 to one significant figure. Now, when we round numbers to significant figures, we use the same conventions as when we round numbers to decimal places, in that if we're rounding to one significant figure, we need to look at the second significant figure, and if that significant figure is less than 5, then we round down. If that significant figure is 5 or more, then we round up. So 23.03 to one significant figure is done in the following way. We look at the second significant figure, so that's the 3 here. Since the 3 here is less than 5, this number rounds down. And so the 2 stays the same, that isn't affected, but the 3 now rounds down to a 0. So this now becomes 20, and so 23.03 to one significant figure is 20. We can also see that the significant figure here is 2. The trailing 0 here on the end is not significant, since there's no decimal points, and so this number is indeed rounded to one significant figure in the following way. If we look at how to round this to two significant figures, then we need to look at the third significant figure, which is the 0. Remember, any zeros between two non-zero digits are always significant. So we've got a 0 between these two non-zero digits, and so this is significant. And so what we do next is we check whether this number is 5 or more or less than 5. 0 is less than 5, and so therefore we round down. So that means that the previous significant figure, the 3 here, stays the same, and so this number rounds down to 23. And again, we can check this. The 2 is the first significant figure, the 3 is the second significant figure. There are no other significant figures after this. Finally, if we want to round this number to 3 significant figures, we need to look at the fourth significant figure. So that's the 3 here. Since 3 is less than 5, we round down. So the previous significant figure stays the same, and this number rounds down to 23.0. Again, remember that if we have a decimal point, then all zeros within the number are significant. And so the first significant figure in this number is the 2, the second significant figure is the 3, the third significant figure is the 0. And so indeed we've rounded this number to 3 significant figures. The next number that we're going to look at is 0.030791. So remember, the first significant figure is the first non-zero digit from the left. So that would be the 3 here. That's the first significant figure. Since we're rounding this to one significant figure, we need to look at the next significant figure after this, which is the 0. Again, remember, zeros between any non-zero digits are significant. And so since 0 is less than 5, we round down, so the previous significant figure stays the same, and so this number to one significant figure is 0.03. And again, if you check this, the only significant figure in this number is the 3. We start counting significant figures from the first non-zero digit from the left. That's the 3 here. So these zeros are not significant. If we were to round this to 2 significant figures, we need to look at the third significant figure in this number. So that's the 7. 7 is 5 or more, and so therefore we round up, which means we need to add 1 to the previous significant figure. That's the 0. So we add 1 to that, and so this number becomes 0.031. The rest of the digits after the 1 are not included. And if we check this, the first significant figure is the 3, the second significant figure is the 1. All zeros before the first non-zero digit are not significant. Finally, to 3 significant figures, we need to look at the fourth significant figure in this number, so that's the 9. Since 9 is 5 or more, we round up, which means we add 1 to the previous significant figure, so add 1 to the 7, and so this number becomes 0.0308. And if we were to check this, we've got the first significant figure is 3, the second significant figure is 0 here, the third significant figure is the 8.